think even if you do hijab, sometimes they don't like, because they think that these are impulses of Islam. So it's not just that you don't say assalamu alaikum because you don't want you hate him, but because it is reciprocity. You deal with him with what he accustomed to. So that is why today you say good morning, say good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon.
Or you can even say peace be unto you too, but you say assalamu alaikum. But when he say assalamu alaikum, you say wa alaik. So wa alaikum, wa alaika, wa alaikum. So when he says assalamu alaikum and it is assalamu alaikum, you say wa alaikum. He may be saying assalamu alaikum, who knows? Because that's why Islam is difficult to understand if you don't take the environment and the concept, the context of revelation into consideration. That's why you cannot understand this hadith and also his prohibition of us praying for mercy if you don't read it against the background of the red line between this wall and the next wall. So the non-Muslim, we live with them in this world, be good to them. Why? Because you share this world and you have to develop it. Go and build with him. Design a company. For this company, be good. Don't insult. When they insult you, say assalam. Why? Because you share this world and it should, anything bad should not come from you. But once this world ends, let him go, and remaining let him with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah says that. So that is one red line that I said to what we call demarcation line. The other demarcation line I said to between a Muslim and a non-Muslim is what is haram clearly and what is halal clearly.
Clearly, yeah.
A Muslim is allowed to marry a non-Muslim. A Muslim man is allowed to marry a non-Muslim.
Not the other way around. Okay.
That's why Allah is saying in the Holy Quran, وَطَعَامُ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ حِلٌّ لَكُمْ وَطَعَامُكُمْ حِلٌّ لَهُ وَالْمُحْصَنَاتُ مِنَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ وَالْمُحْصَنَاتُ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Allah is saying that the food of the people of the book is allowed to you, and your food is allowed to them. You can exchange food. And also you can exchange women, meaning you can marry them. Now here you listen. What is declared haram, don't do it. In the food, if you go to visit a non-Muslim and for you pork is prohibited and wine is haram, but for him maybe it's not haram. Here you have to stop.
Yes, exactly.
You cannot go because of their food is halal, is lawful. You go to the extent of eating pork. You know what I mean? That is why when you go to visit them, you have to ask. Before you eat, you have to ask, is this pork?
Most of them, even they know, they will tell you.
Yes, they will tell you. So that is why I said, when it comes to religion, it should not be based in good faith. When you go to visit a non-Muslim country, any food you eat, you better ask. When you go to visit a Muslim country, any food you eat, you don't need to ask.
Exactly.
But when you go to visit a non-Muslim country, any food you eat, you better ask. Even when a non-Muslim come to you, they also ask. Right? Because maybe the type of food that you are eating, maybe there are things that they don't like. So the best thing is for them to ask, right? Because that is not the environment that is generally accepted as far as religion is concerned. So then I said to, meaning the food of the people of the book is allowed to you, and your food is allowed for them, and also women of the people of the book are also allowed to Muslims, but not the opposite, because the opposite has been prohibited in Surah Al-Mumtahina. Don't take them to them. You know, I said why? That is very simple.
Islam is not about opinion, but there are times when some people would really insist, if men can do it, why not women? They will argue, and some are in those kind of relationships.
Yes. Why? Because I said here, Quran is saying that if a Muslim man marries a non-Muslim, there will be no problem. Why? Because the Muslim man believes in her prophet.
Yeah.
You see? Because Muslim is someone who believes in all prophets, including Jesus. So Muslim believe in Jesus as a prophet. So the Muslim is marrying a non-Muslim believing in her prophet. But when a non-Muslim marries a Muslim, he doesn't believe in her prophet. That can cause trouble.
Right.
Because somebody, when you don't believe in Muhammad, you look down upon him. You can talk about him sarcastically and scornfully. That will create some tension between you and your wife. And when you don't believe in all prophets, we consider you kafir. And I said that is very simple. It's not what we call rocket arts. If a Muslim,
and for the male Muslim too, with the children, you can change them. You can just make them Muslims.
It depends, because let me tell you, let me just complete this idea.
Okay.
I'm saying that it's not rocket arts, because sometimes they will look at it as Islam is biased. Islam is biased, Islam is not biased, because if a Muslim also disrespects Jesus, if a Muslim denies that Jesus is a prophet, that Muslim ceases to be a Muslim.
Definitely.
And he can no longer marry neither a Muslim daughter nor a Christian daughter. Are you listening?
Yeah, I know. You have to believe in all the prophets.
In all the prophets. So it's simple. When me as Dr. Ja go to Mecca, pray 5 times, and come from Mecca and say Jesus Christ is not a prophet, then I cease to be a Muslim. Then I'm a kafir.
Yeah.
Now, no Muslim can give me their daughters, no Christian can give me their daughter. This is the secret behind it.
Where do you have to be then?
Yes. Meaning now, all the prophets are one package. From Adam to the Prophet Muhammad.
The Muslims and the non-Muslims.
Yes. Are all one package. You either accept them all or you reject them all. So once you reject one of them, we call you kafir.
Yeah.
That's why a Muslim boy can marry a Christian girl because he believes in her prophet, but a Christian boy cannot marry a Muslim girl because he does not believe in her prophet. This is the problem. Now, the issue of the children. That's why Umar ibn Khattab is saying that any Muslim who is going to marry a non-Muslim, knowing that he cannot pull the children out, he should not do that. If you are a yambar, meaning if you are careless, Omar is saying that it is impermissible for a Muslim to marry a non-Muslim if you know that the children are going to the other way.
That's right.
But if you know that you can at least pull them, then yeah, you can marry a non-Muslim and she remains Christian and you remain a Muslim. You can marry a Jewish lady and she remain in her religion and you remain in your religion. And the only problem is that you cannot inherit her and she will not inherit you.
Yeah, inheritance too. Sometimes some people don't know.
Yes. The third thing I said to conclude with, the third demarcation line, the first demarcation line was between life and death. The second demarcation line was haram and halal. The third demarcation line I said to is the gray areas. The gray areas is when you think that this is not right between me and him, then you have to stop until a scholar tells you what to do. For example, they will ask me, can you go to the funeral? I say yes. You can go to the funeral.
To the house.
Yes, to the house. You can go to the house, and why? Because you are now communicating, you are now fulfilling what we call neighborliness responsibility. You go and say your condolences. Can you go to the graveyard?
Sometimes you are related by blood even.
By blood even. Yes,
house.
you go to the house and say like that. Can you now pray for his mercy? No. Is what I'm saying. So there are gray areas. Now, can you give gift? Yes, you can give gift. But if that gift is contains something haram, you also cannot give that. So these are the gray areas that a Muslim should be very careful. And before you step beyond those bounds, then you ask a scholar. Then he will tell you to that. But then, in conclusion, a Muslim should be a prophet of peace. Nowadays, there are many people I see in this world who want to create tension between Muslims and non-Muslims.
Using Islam, the image of Islam, making most non-Muslims to be scared of Islam when they hear, oh God, violence, terror.
Yes, that is why the best sunnah I see of the 21st century is what I call the sunnah of de-radicalization and the sunnah of de-escalation of disputes. Let us not to be dragged into fighting, because you see what happened in Central Africa.
Exactly.
And there are people who just want to create chaos and anarchy unnecessarily. Let us live with them in peace as long as they leave us in our religion. This is what I have to tell you. And I thank you very much for the program I said to file.
On that note, Dr. Omar Jah, Acting Deputy Vice Chancellor of the University of the Gambia, thank you very much for talking to us on ICRA. And I hope that, like what you said, this sunnah of relationship in Islam, everything is well understood, and as Muslims, we should know how to live with non-Muslims.
Yes, thank you. Yes, that is why I think it's very important we live with them and try to de-escalate any potential violence, any potential dispute, and de-radicalize radicalized groups. So because there are people in this world now who want to radicalize Muslims to kill, to bomb, to maim, and these are the bad things that the Prophet never condoned. We thank you very much.
Religious tolerance is very important,
it's very important
wherever we are.
Yes, thank you very much.
That's all the time we have for you on ICRA. Until next time, I'm Aisa Tufai. Wa akhiru dawana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم